Everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Curve Uncensored. I am so happy to come to you today, tonight, this evening, whatever you want to call it, because I have some information that's caught my attention that I want to share with y'all. But first of all, how's your Sunday going? Mine is going great, had a busy day and all that good stuff. So I hope you're enjoying it, all rested and ready for the week. Most importantly, before we get started, I want you to make sure and like and share and subscribe to my station if you have not already. Make sure you do that because that is the way that I know what I'm bringing you is interesting and important and you like what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So we're going to just get all the way into it quick and in a hurry. Now, how many of you all have heard about this little situation that's been going on in Tennessee? Please let me know. Please let me know. Because if you didn't, I'm going to just give you a little information today, a little tea. And I'm going to be following this story as it continues. But it caught my attention today because I had planned on going live tomorrow, you know. But this information caught my attention and it's been out. I've heard about it and I've kind of been following it, but just didn't really want to delve into it too much. However, today I came across some information that I felt like, you know what, I need to say a little something about it. You know what I'm saying? But how many of y'all have heard about the police officer in Tennessee that was fired? She was fired, and then five other officers were fired. And it was in Laverne, Tennessee, the police department. And they were all having sex with this one police officer. She was a white officer, and they were, I think some of them were white, some of them were black, some of them were different nationalities, but they were all police officers. And they fired them. And eventually, after looking into things a little deeper, they actually fired her as well. Well, let me just give you a little bit of tea on this here so you'll know what's going on if you have not been really following it, just so you and I be on the same page. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this hat together. But anyway, whew, it's a mess. And then it's a mess the way that in my opinion, it's just my opinion. Hey, for whatever it's worth, is my opinion. And everything is alleged. I want to make sure I say that. Okay. But there were five male officers that were fired, and she was fired as well eventually. And then there were three additional officers that were one. I think one was a sergeant. Oh no, three were sergeants, and they were suspended. And this is the thing. She was involved with all of those officers, and she was having sex. Now she stated that she was not raped. She made a big statement. They actually did a live interview on her. And let me show you. Her name is Megan Hall. Let me show you the officers first. Hold on one second. Let me share my screen with you guys so you'll kind of be able to put a face with it. Hold on a minute. Give me one second. Okay. These are, hold on a minute. I want to make sure you get the picture. No, things don't never do what you need them to do, right? I want to make sure you can see these people because hold on one second. Let me pull them up for you. I had them up and then they wanted to go away. But there were five officers, and she's young. I think she was hired when she was like 24 or whatnot. And dang it, I cannot find the pictures. Anyway, I'll show you. But there were five officers. You saw the pictures earlier. And then she fired and let go too. Well, what had happened was they've been following along with this story. And let me just read a little bit to you. So you'll know what was going on. And I kind of came across this on the NBC News app. You know, you got to give people their credits, right? But The mayor, Jason Cole, was stating that the situation is unacceptable. And as soon as they heard about it, they launched an investigation. And when they launched the investigation, they found out there was a lot more going on with it. I mean, they were sending pictures to each other during the time they were working. They were actually allegedly, now I'm going to say allegedly, they were also becoming active, sexually active at the police department. They were just acting crazy and sending pictures of each other's genital area while on duty and all of that. And once it was actually brought to the mayor, he jumped on it. Now, this particular police department only has a 60-person force, but they say even though those officers have been fired and then they have some on suspension, they have plenty enough staff to continue moving forward and providing safety to, that area. But the person that actually brought it to the mayor's attention, he was over the Fraternal Order of Police, and he kind of let them know what was going on. And he was like, but come to find out, I believe he was involved with it too. Hold on one second. Let me kind of let you know. It says earlier, Police Sergeant Eric Stratz, who is the president of the Department of Fraternal Order of Police chapter, told news media that none of the officers would be making a statement. So none of them are going to speak on what's going on. Okay. Now, Stats, he owns the houseboat on which a Wild Heart tub party. So they had a party. They actually had a party. And it was held last Memorial Day, which is allegedly what it's stating here. And the officers were all drinking heavily. And at some point, Megan Hall, which is the young lady, it was only one lady involved, her top came off. Okay, and then vodka was poured down her throat, according to the investigative report. Now, Stats is the one saying the officers are not going to speak about it, right? But they said he's not accused of any wrongdoing, but he owned the houseboat where a lot of this started, I guess. And they said that she was always, well, not always, but I guess under the influence of alcohol a lot of the time. And when she did this is what kind of happened. So the particular officers that they ended up firing, they were actually officers, but also Sergeant Henry Ty McGowan. Now, he's a sergeant. He should have known better, right? He should have known better. I don't know what he was thinking. How do you expect to have this many people involved in something and it not get out? I just do not know. Also, Detective Seneca Shields and Officer Juan Perez, they were suspended. Okay. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, they were fired. They were fired. But Officer Larry Holiday, Patrick, and Galvin, they were suspended. So right now, those last three officers were suspended. They have not been fired, but everybody else have been fired, including Megan. Now, Megan is, for some reason, she's feeling like she had been taken advantage of. She felt like the chief of police. Hold on, let me give you his name. Let me give you his exact name, because I don't want to be getting their names wrong. Ted. Okay, hold on. Police Chief Burrell, Chip Davis, and a few officers do not he stated that their actions do not represent the entire force. So even though Chief Burrell, Chip, who was one of the people who was aware of what was going on, and the other officers that were fired, were all involved, they said that they don't represent the entire force. And I agree with that. The mayor is like that, everyone on the force, even though it's a small force, it's 60 people, everybody there on the force is not foul like these officers. I don't know why they would do this. Now, Megan, she's married. Her husband is a former park ranger or something like that, but he's the son of a pastor, and he's saying that he's going to stick by his wife. Now, The 5 officers that were let go, I don't know why they felt like all of them wanted to engage in, I guess, I don't know. I can't say being men. They just were not recognize they just were not using the senses God blessed them with. Because anytime you have that many people involved in the situation, it's going to come to light and everyone is going to know at some point. You could only keep it secret so long. But the mayor was like that was unacceptable. Um Chief Davis, they brought out different counselors to kind of help some of the police officers that have been impacted that were not involved in this. They actually brought counselors out to give them support. But when I tell you, this is like a really bad hit to that particular police department. It's just crazy. So now, when I think about it, Megan at this point, she's moving forward with filing a federal lawsuit. She's filing a federal lawsuit. And Channel 5 there was kind of give they did a long interview, but I can't really play the interview. But they interview her and she stated plain and simple that she was not raped. Now my thing is, I'm trying to right, Martika, the lawsuit thing I can't get with. I just kind of came across like digging into this story today, so I'm gonna actually follow up with it. Um, Sunshine asked Fraternal Order police who wasn't involved. Megan should not be suing she knew better. All right, Sunshine, I agree. She should not be suing. I agree, Matika. I don't know where the lawsuit. That's what propelled me to kind of go live real quick today. Even though the mayor was like that, her behavior does not constitute the entire force. It looks bad on the entire force. My thing is, I understand. How are you around here with a gun and now you're trying to make a statement that mentally you were not all the way there and they took advantage of that? You don't just fall on, what I'm trying to say, that many men and you say that you didn't know what you were doing. I'm just sorry. I just don't get it. I'm all for women's rights and not being taken advantage of and harassed in the workplace. I'm all for that because that's not allowed by a man shouldn't feel that way or a woman. But how do you I was understood to think whenever a person becomes a police officer, they do like a mental evaluation. I think they have a really stringent mental evaluation. Now we all know by the behaviors of a lot of police officers lately that some fools slip through. We understand that some people slip through. But me personally, her trying to file a federal lawsuit and she's trying to sue, I think, like the city, three of the sergeants, that were one of them, one of the officers that was a sergeant, and then there were two more. She's trying to sue them, and she's saying, hey, they knew about it because they were sergeants and they were in a higher position. She always wanted to be a police officer, is what she's saying, but she had nowhere to turn. Let's just say you had nowhere to turn, right? Okay, you had nowhere to turn. You had a husband, right? You had a family. You definitely had a father-in-law that's a pastor. Maybe you could have contacted that attorney, your attorney. You could have contacted an attorney and said that you felt like you were being harassed. Now all of a sudden you can find an attorney, and now all of a sudden you're making yourself a victim. Now I'm not saying that she didn't have something a little off going on. Maybe that was the case, but I'm sure it was not documented anywhere. Because my thing is, if you had something mental going on, when they did the evaluation of sort before you became a police officer and walking around carrying a gun, that should have came out. So my biggest thing, I think, is just a case of making bad judgment, and she is basically trying to monetize that. How do you get involved with that many people on a police force? And I bet if they look into her history, and I'm sure these attorneys that are going to go against her attorney are going to look into her history and they may uncover some other behaviors outside of this that has occurred. Because my thing is, a woman, I just don't see how you can become involved with that many men in the same department and you've not had that particular type behavior at some point in life. I hope I'm lying. I hope I'm not true. It's not true. I hope I'm not right. But it's just very weird, to be involved with that many people. And this is also too, they said, I heard that she stated her husband, they had an open relationship. But an open relationship, and then I mean, man, you got to be involved with that many people on the force. I think that's crazy. I really think that she's made bad judgment and she's trying to save face. I really, really think they shared all sorts of pictures and phones, and she was included. She was included. She was definitely, definitely, definitely included. And I just don't understand why she would do something like that. I really don't. And now she's trying to play the victim. She said she was pressured. They took advantage of her. Um, I don't know. I don't know how she feel like this is going. I would be surprised. I think some of it is that pity card kind of thing. She feels that she was the lone woman involved in this, and that there's no way she can go before a jury and they not feel like somewhere somehow that they took advantage of her. I mean, none of the officers are facing any type of criminal charges at this point because she said it was no rape. She did make the decision to do it, but she feel like it was under duress, that she felt that she had nowhere to turn, that she had no choice in doing this kind of thing. And then she really wanted to, I guess she wanted to keep her job. She felt like she had to do it. But my biggest thing, you didn't have to do it. There were many outlets that you all of a sudden located after you were fired. Now you could find, but you couldn't find those outlets to say, hey, I feel like someone is taking advantage of me. That's just not common sense. I just do not get that. I think it's terrible. I do feel as if she had accountability in this. This is my opinion. I'm sticking with it. I do feel like if they lost their job, she should have lost her job. I really do. They had Sergeant, like I said, Henry McGowan. He's a sergeant. He should have known better. You know, a Detective Shields definitely should have known better. The officers, I don't know how long they were officers. All of them, they just should have known better, and she should have known better. She is a mother. She is her husband is a son of a pastor. Um, she definitely should have had morals in place that should have taught her right from wrong. So I really just don't. I think they were just a group of little horny police officers. That's what I think, and they were all having a good time. I don't think it was one excluded. I think everybody involved had some sort of accountability, and I personally don't feel like she should get any type of monetary damages from filing this federal lawsuit. I really don't. I feel like losing their jobs was appropriate because obviously they're not able to make good decisions. I mean, how do you get involved with that many men? She may need some counseling. I feel like she needs some counseling because that's not normal behavior, or it shouldn't be for one woman to be involved. I hope they was using protection because man, that's a whole bunch of going on. Sunshine said it's too late. Megan was not forced by any of the officers. Bad on her part. She needs some sort of help for herself. I agree, Sunshine. She needs help. The choice she made, no money for her. I agree. I don't feel like she deserves any money. I feel like any decision she made was you can't become a victim because it's public now. You can't turn into a victim. I feel like there is something a little off because the average woman would not want. I just don't feel like the average woman in her right mind would just want to be involved with that many policemen in the. I mean, you're the only woman, and you feel like it's necessary to, have sex with that many people. I just don't think. I just don't. That's something wasn't registering there, but that not registering does not. That's like saying you hurt someone, and now, like a lot of people do, they try to play the insanity kind of plea. You can't. You're not insane. You're looking for an excuse to justify bad behavior. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. I just don't get it. I just kind of felt that, you know, it's probably embarrassing. At the end of her interview, she made a statement that she said, she just want to go on with her life. She just want to go on with her life. She's trying to put this all behind her. Well, you can put it behind you, but there are a lot of memes out there. People are saying all sorts of things about it. I mean, I'm talking about it as well. A lot of people are talking about it. So that's something that's going to follow her. I mean, how are you going to be? You and your husband, father-in-law is a pastor. I mean, your husband is the son of a pastor. I mean, his boss had made a statement saying, he's more of a man. This hat is really getting on my nerve. He's more of a man than his boss on his job said he's more of a man than he is. The average man would not put up with that. He would not put up with his wife being involved. For one, you would be afraid, like, did they use protection all the time? Bump them being a policeman or a policewoman and losing your job, but did they use protection? Not just people think it's just the sexual part of it, but what about the kissing and all of that? You can catch all kind of germs. You know what I'm saying? What if they was having fellatio and all that stuff going on? That is just nasty, 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 nasty. And then you going back to your husband, and then you kissing your kids with that mouth. No, nasty, 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 nasty. So I personally think that I don't think it should not be an impact on the police department itself. It should not, because you can't blame the whole police department because of the actions of a few. But I mean, man, it's only 60. It's a 60-person force, I think, in that whole police department. I don't know if that's everybody, not just including officers. But my biggest thing is that that's a lot of people, and for it to be just one woman that was involved with all those police officers, I think is nasty. And I think a lot of it is like, if I wanted to show you her picture, but for some reason it disappeared. I clicked off it and I don't feel like going through it and all that. But if you go and you Google her name, Megan Hall, you'll see her picture and the officers and all that'll come up. And when I tell you, when I looked at her interview on Channel 5, she's trying to make herself look real conservative, innocent, and that type of thing. No, I just think that's all just for show, because you're not innocent. First of all, you're the only woman. Why are you even in the hot tub or wherever with all those men? I don't care if they are your coworkers. Like, why are you even in a hot tub for your top to come off with all these men? I don't understand. How you gonna justify that? How are you gonna justify that? And then you go from that to vodka, and then you go from that. You're gonna blame it on the alcohol? No, you can't be blaming it on the alcohol. I just think she just wanted to get involved, and they all, as grown people, did, and now it's out in the public, and people are just like all over her. And she's a woman. I'm a woman too, so I'm not like dragging her. But what got me, and that's because that's kind of one reason why I never really said anything about it, but one thing that just got me and made it where I just really had to say something is she trying to file a lawsuit. Well, she has filed a federal lawsuit, and she actually has an attorney. And when the guy that was actually interviewing her, I did not write his name down, but he made the statement she had nowhere to go. She had nowhere to go. This is what the guy stated. Where could she go? Could she go? The sergeant or whatever knew about it. Where could she go? She could have went many places. She could have went many places and not be around there having sex on the job and all these different places. Man, she tripping. Oh, somebody's making comments, but making comments in Espanol. Mon poquito Espanol, but not enough to understand what you're saying. I'm sorry. I wish it would have been English. But someone is making statements. I don't know what they're saying. But anyway, I just think it was sad. I came for it because when I heard the person doing the interview saying that the young lady had nowhere to go, I totally disagreed with that. And that's the reason why I kind of came and I had to say something about it, because she did have many places to go. She found a lot of places to go once they fired her. Why she couldn't find those same places to go when all this was going on? She did not have to become sexually involved. I do think she needs some counseling and she needs some help, because that's not normal behavior to do something like that, or it shouldn't be normal behavior. It's not normal behavior for me. So I do think she needs some sort of help. But to say that she can now monetarily benefit for her bad choices, we all make choices we shouldn't make. I know I made some in life. I'm sure you guys have made some in life, and you probably gonna keep making them. But when you make them, then you have to deal with the consequences, right? She shouldn't get paid for that. I'm interested to see how this whole case is going to come out, because it's crazy. I do think it was great that the mayor jumped on it and launched an investigation into it, because because none of them needed to be police officers. She didn't need to be, and none of the people involved with her, because it was totally bad judgment, especially when you're doing it while you're on the clock. You're also having sex when you're sending pictures back and forth. How are you protecting people when you're focused on that kind of thing? And then you put stuff, kids know you don't take pictures of stuff like that in your phone and send it out. And then you send them all over the place. You know somebody gonna find out about it. Just crazy. I think she should stop playing the victim. I think she should stop playing the victim. She need to put a big girl undies on and she need to take it to the chin like a champ. What y'all think? I think she just need to take the L and be like, I made a mistake. The men, they lost their jobs too, and I don't think she should be suing anyone. I really don't. The city, the sergeants, or any of them. I think that they all should lose their jobs, bad judgments, and they need to go on and move forward. I think a lot of this has become sometimes she feels, people feel like I'm the only woman or I'm the only this, and I feel like that might give me a little leverage. But I don't think it's gonna work this time. At least I hope it doesn't work this time. I feel like she is just as guilty in that fault as the men that were involved with her. What do y'all think? I just wanted somebody to help me understand this. How do you file a lawsuit against somebody when you clearly say it wasn't rape and you made the decision to, you know, have sex with these men? You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of companies do not allow people on jobs to kind of get together, and because of this kind of thing. This very thing. It gets to be too much, and it gets to be too much, and then the whole company, it looks bad on the company. It impacts the views of the, now you got the city looking, being like, what are these officers doing? That's why they can't protect us, because they were out here having sex, going to parties, drinking, getting drunk, and all this and that, and sending pictures. So they can't protect us because they out here doing everything that they shouldn't be doing. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. I just don't get it. But anyway, I just felt like I wanted to come and talk to y'all about it because I thought I was crazy. I thought I was crazy, but I'm glad to see that you guys are on the same page as me. She should not recover anything from this, and I hope they throw it out. I really don't even think you should waste taxpayers' money dealing with any of this. I think it should. I think this duress thing, not having a way out. Who could you turn to? I think all of that is a bunch of crap. And anybody involved who received videos, pictures, did not stop this before it got to this point, I feel like, are responsible too. So anyway, I'm sorry I couldn't send you the pictures. I could not, it just wouldn't cooperate with the cooperation tonight. But I did just Google Megan Hall, Google the Laverne Police Department, people that were fired, suspended. It was a whole crew of them, and you'll be able to pull up the pictures and all of that. But I just kind of want to see what you guys thought about it, because it came across me today, and I was not feeling warm and fuzzy. I was feeling all thrown off with it. So anyway, I just want to come talk to my people. Make sure you share this video. Tell people about me, like it, and subscribe, because go to my YouTube page. The link is in the bottom of the video, and subscribe. Okay. Look, enjoy your weekend. I'm coming to you guys tomorrow. I really have a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about. Just a busy week, and I was not able to get to you on Friday, but Monday we're gonna have a whole lot to talk about, honey. So enjoy your Sunday. Peace out, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.